Okay, so let's get right into it. We're always told that to build wealth, you just have to earn more money. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the real secret is breaking the habits that are keeping you poor in the first place, no matter how much you make? We're going to break down the financial traps that keep so many people stuck.
Ever feel like this? You get a raise, maybe a new job with a bigger salary, but then, a few months down the line, you're right back to living paycheck to paycheck. You just have slightly nicer stuff. It's like you're on a financial treadmill, running faster and faster, but going absolutely nowhere. And look, if this is you, it's not some personal failure. It's an incredibly common trap, and it actually has a name.
It's called lifestyle creep. Some people call it the hedonic treadmill. It's this sneaky, unconscious process where your spending just expands to eat up whatever new income you get. That celebratory dinner you had, it becomes a weekly thing. That premium streaming service, suddenly it's a necessity. And the really scary part is, without a plan, your new income doesn't build you wealth. It just funds a fancier version of being broke. So before we can even talk about what to do, we have to go deeper. We have to start at the source. Because here's the thing. All of our spending habits, all those little decisions, they're driven by our financial mindset. It's like the operating system running in the background of your life. So let's start there by making a really important distinction.
This is so crucial to understand. There's a huge difference between being broke and being poor. Being broke is just a temporary situation, right? It means you don't have cash at this very moment. But being poor, in this context, isn't about the number in your bank account. It's a mindset. It's a way of thinking that can keep you trapped even if you're making six figures.
Robert Kiyosaki, the guy who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, absolutely nailed this concept. See, the common approach is to trade your time for money. You have a job, you get a paycheck. You only make money as long as you're working. But the wealthy, they think differently. They use their time to buy or build assets. Things like stocks, real estate, a business. Things that make money for them even when they're sleeping. That's the huge shift. Your salary stops being just for bills and starts being the tool you use to buy assets.
So how do you start to make that shift? Well, here's a powerful little trick. Start thinking about opportunity cost. The St. Louis Fed has this great analogy. Imagine you're putting on a special pair of economist glasses. Suddenly, you're not just seeing the price tag on something. You're seeing what you're really giving up to get it. So, before your next purchase, just stop. Ask yourself these three things. First, how much do I really want this? Second, what am I giving up right now to get it? And third, this is the big one, what am I giving up in the future? That $100 you spend on dinner tonight, it isn't just $100. If you invested it, it could easily be worth almost $500 in 20 years. Is that meal really worth $500? Probably not. In this mindset, this need for instant gratification, it leads us right into one of the most destructive traps in modern life, debt. I mean, our entire society has basically perfected the art of making it super easy, even glamorous, to spend money you don't actually have. It's a trap that has become completely and utterly normal. Just think about those buy now, pay later services. They seem so harmless, don't they? A few small payments, no big deal. But here's the catch. If you miss just one payment, the interest rates can explode, sometimes as high as 30%. Yeah, their whole business model is basically a bet that you'll slip up. And it just shows how deep this goes. I mean, it used to be that you'd only finance huge things, like a house or maybe a car. But now, it's totally normal to finance your clothes, your new phone, your furniture, even your vacation. You end up spending months or years paying for something you already consumed, plus interest. That's money that's actively working against your future. And this isn't just about your personal finances, it's bigger than that. When you look at entire economies, research shows that while a lot of household debt can give a little short-term boost, over the long run, it's a major drag on economic growth. We are literally stealing from our collective future for a little bit of instant gratification today.
Okay, so we've talked about the big, obvious monster, which is debt. But what about the sneakier habits? The small, kind of harmless-looking leaks that are quietly draining your bank account. This is what you'd call financial death by 1,000 cuts.
The financial influencer Jaspreet Singh has this perfect analogy. Think of your income as water flowing into a bucket. Now, most of us focus all our energy on trying to pour more water in. Get a raise, find a side hustle. But if your bucket is riddled with holes, all that extra water just leaks right out. The first and most important job is to plug the holes. And here's one of the biggest myths about plugging those leaks, that buying cheap stuff saves you money. Research from the Journal of Consumer Research found the complete opposite. They ran a study where shoppers focused on quantity, buying more cheap things, actually spent more at the checkout than people who focused on quality. The lesson? Chasing bargains can be one of the most expensive habits you have.
So where are the biggest leaks in most people's buckets? Well, they're usually hiding in plain sight. It's that daily coffee you tell yourself you deserve. It's that lunch you buy because you were too busy to make one. In the moment, they feel so small, so insignificant, but they add up, and they add up fast.
So let's actually run the numbers. Just those two things, a coffee and a lunch, 5 days a week, that can add up to a staggering amount every month. For example, in a place like Nigeria, that could easily be over 220,000 naira. Just think about that for a second. That's more than a lot of people's rent, all spent on things that are gone in what, 20 minutes? That right there is lifestyle creep in action. All right, so we've diagnosed the issues, right? The wrong mindset, the debt trap, those sneaky spending leaks. Now for the most important part, the antidote. How do we actually start rewiring our brains and our habits to build wealth instead of destroying it? If you only remember one thing, make it this: pay yourself first. This one phrase flips the whole idea of budgeting on its head. See, most people get paid. They pay their bills, they spend on whatever they want, and then they try to save what's left over, which is usually nothing. The wealthy do the exact opposite. They treat their savings and investments like the most important bill they have. It gets paid first, no matter what.
And here is the secret to making that happen. Don't rely on willpower. It's a losing battle. The real secret weapon, the thing that actually works, is automation. Set it and forget it. You set up an automatic transfer for the day you get paid, and a chunk of your money goes straight to your savings or investment account before you can even touch it. You make the right decision just once, and the system does the hard work for you forever.
And if you need a simple roadmap, the 50-30-20 rule is a fantastic starting point. It's simple. 50% of your take-home pay goes to your absolute needs, rent, bills, that kind of stuff. 30% is for your wants, the fun stuff. And a non-negotiable 20%? That goes straight to paying yourself first, savings, investments, and knocking out high-interest debt. It just brings clarity and control back to your money.
So let's end on this thought. Your salary, your income, it's just a tool. And every single time you spend money, you are using that tool to make someone else rich. The landlord, the car company, the restaurant owner. The real question is, when are you going to start using that tool to make yourself rich first? When you break these habits, you finally take control. You start building your life by design, not by default.